Before we start today's episode of the Kingz Lounge, do me a favor. Go over to the Kingz Lounge page. You're going to stroll. You're going to hit subscribe. And once you hit subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell. Always hit all. And once again, thank you for your support of the Kingz Lounge. Now let's get into the show. King Talk.
Welcome back to the Kingz Lounge. I'm your host, Booker, a.k.a. The Broker.
This is your boy, Lil Ron, a.k.a. Knock You Out.
It's your boy T Carter, a.k.a. Mr. Exclusive.
Okay, before we first start that, knock out what?
Tension is getting very high. Somebody's going down. But I know how it is. I know how it's going to end up being. But I'm going to just go ahead and make this episode good and sweet.
Okay, knockout champion. Booker. Okay, but anyway, while we talking, what sport is this?
We're going at tennis today.
Tennis?
Yes, sir. What's the first person you think when you think of tennis?
You want me to be honest with you?
Back and roll.
Yeah.
Andre Agassi.
Serena Williams.
Serena Williams, what I was going to say. And Venus.
Well, speaking of Serena, I got a trivia for you. Who was the very first black female tennis player to ever touch the league?
Is that Venus?
No, it wasn't. Gibson. In the 1950s, Gibson was the very first one. You had a male tennis player, which was the very first and only black male tennis to go in and win the U.S. in the singles. Do you know who that is? His name was Arthur.
I've never known that.
Yes.
Learn something new every day, like T say.
I told you tennis is my thing.
Okay, I got one for you.
I want it.
When tennis was first created, what were they using?
Okay, first off, you're going with this Google stuff again.
No, it's not Google. It's not Google. It's not Google. No, tennis was created. You can ask any tennis player. Medieval times. They're using their hands.
Yeah, but
no racket. Later on, 16th century racket.
But they didn't even have shoes on their feet. No, I'm just being honest. I'm just telling, this is back when you had King Arthur.
Yeah.
So I mean, you step into this is not no Willows type stuff.
Yeah.
This stuff, it goes back way back.
Since everybody want to drop trivia on some tennis, okay. Who was the designer of first tennis clothes that's a popular brand today?
That one I don't know. When I think of tennis, I think about the girls wearing tennis dresses.
Okay, well, the polo.
I do. I'm just being honest.
Polo collar shirts with the alligator eyes on it.
Oh, you talking about Lacoste?
Yeah,
Lacoste. Yeah, Lacoste. Yeah.
That's a black guy.
Wow.
He's one of the first ones. So lacrosse is made by a black person design.
And lacrosse today is
for
still
tennis players.
Right.
Yeah, and people, they took that, and that makes sense because back in the 80s, that was a popular. If you didn't have polo,
you had lacrosse.
you had lacrosse. You had that automatically. Man.
Right.
People had that automatically. So that's
lacrosse,
one of the things I like.
got your gator on your shirt.
Yes, sir.
That
Sir.
Was a nice brand to come across. They still, to this day, lacrosse is still well known. It's still high dollar.
Right.
It's just finding certain sizes.
That's
their problem.
Tennis did something that sports rarely do. He had Roger Federer versus Serena Williams. They played in a match together. Yeah. Y'all remember that? Remember that first one when Serena threw that up and spiked that boy? Well, she served, and he looked like, whoa. Looked at the power that she had to be a girl.
Well, speaking of tennis players, she's real good. Don't get me wrong. I will never take that from her. But you can't delete the fact of Andre Agassi. Andre Agassi was the Michael Jordan of his era.
Well, I heard it was Roger Federer.
Andre Agassi was a bad boy. And he had a Nike deal. Had probably one of the nicest two shoes that actually came out back in the 90s. Andre Agassi had a victory night shirt.
Agassi was a bad boy, man.
Yeah.
Really?
With the mullet at first.
Yeah, the money going on.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a big deal.
I was just a baby. I don't know nothing about him.
Oh, you got when Andre Agassi was bald headed like mine.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I got.
He had that mean mullet.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I want to ask you guys something. Very seldomly we talk about, women's sports, and I'm glad that we're on this topic. And I've seen a match with Serena Williams and Naomi Osaka. And remember when she was yelling at the Empire saying that she never cheated? I never cheated, da-da-da-da-da. Do y'all really think that cost her the match?
Well, you got pressure bust pipes. Sometimes you got to hold your cool when you're in these sports, because sometimes you say certain things can actually cost you the match. If she probably would have held it in until after the game was over with, after she got the win, I think it would have ended up being different.
Yeah, different because I think she got distracted. Mm-hmm. She got so big with the referee. I'm like the match
Caught in the feelings.
Yeah, caught in the feelings. You gotta do this after it's over with. Then come back and watch your stuff, because if not, like you say, you lose your distraction. What's going on and. Take her head out the game.
Mm-hmm. And she was supposed to break a record that day, 2018. Nobody actually counted on Naomi to win. And that began to have a new star, which she's with YRN Corday, whatever that guy's name is, but just a newer breed. And I like this generation. I like this generation of new talent coming up.
We know Serena expired. She inspired a lot of people.
Yes.
A lot of people.
Yes.
Her and her sister both.
Yes. Yes.
They a lot of people.
First two sisters will actually be playing against each other, and they played against each other quite a bit.
A few times, yeah.
Yeah.
A few times.
I think Serena beat her out 21 to like 19 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
They go at it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really consider it as beat out. When she win, her sister win. They
Yeah.
play together, so
Yeah.
they sisters. So
They still taking it home.
they still take it home regardless.
So, since you know so much trivia, since you know about all that good stuff, I want to ask you a question.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
Why is it so many different type of tournaments in tennis? I'm serious, they have like the U.S. Open, they have freaking the Wimbledon, the singles. Like, they have a bunch of different, like, big old, the Summer Olympics things. So, why is it so many?
The Wimbledon is the best. That's like the
top, right.
the top dog.
Right.
If you get that one, that means, like you talked about your belts.
Right.
And you talk about the Ring magazine.
Right.
That Wimbledon, if you get that right there, that's actually
that means you're a true champion.
You're a true champion. The rest of them, they just like basically just like the NFL. Back in the days, it was split up, two different things, and then at one point in time, they put it all together as one. Same thing with the Basketball Association.
Right.
Back in the days, it was two different basketball leagues before they made the regular NBA. But that Wimbledon thing is actually showing that, hey, look, like the Stanley Cup. Hey, you got this?
I'm the top dog.
Yeah, I'm the top dog.
Okay.
I'm the person to actually beat. So they create all those other different categories to put people in there to keep them coming. But the main one is that main one. If you ain't got that one right there, you ain't got nothing.
I did not know that, man. That's something good right there for folks that don't know that, because I know me, of all people, I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that I watch tennis day in and day out. So it's a great sport to get into. It take a lot of effort to do that too, man.
A lot of effort, a lot of energy, but a lot of people only watch tennis when certain people play.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the women tennis, I hate to say it, get watched more than
the men's. Yeah.
And a lot of people ain't watching just for the match.
There you go.
Leave it at that.
Speaking of tennis, a popular shoe that actually got it exposure doing tennis, K-Swiss.
Yeah, K-Swiss.
People do not know that.
Yeah, K-Swiss. If you notice back in the gap, a lot of people that they had on K-Swiss when they playing tennis.
K-Swiss was on their feet. That was like the shoe, and you had to have that classic K-Swiss. That was the number one shoe right there. They didn't have the all black like they have now. They
I don't
came
see
later
how
on.
they play tennis.
And them things hurt.
Man.
K-Swiss have no give.
Nothing. I'm talking about you gonna roll that ankle. You try to cut up and man, you out of there.
Well, K-Swiss it's like an Air Force One to me. That's like a one or twice time shoe. That's it. Once it start getting dirty, it ain't coming back from that white.
I liked them because they actually had a sleeker fit to them.
Right.
We kind of like slick with your feet, and it was good to go.
Okay.
To the Air Force.
Yeah. So tennis players now they get paid basically more on the endorsements now.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna ask you, do they get paid like an athlete? Do they get paid the right way?
Yeah, they get paid.
They could take where.
Yeah. What about the women?
The women get paid, but I can't lie and say they get paid more than the men.
Yeah,
Not saying it's a race thing, but don't get it twisted. Serena they get paid
Right.
pretty.
Yeah, Serena get paid.
They
Right.
get some money.
Well, shout out to Will Smith in that King Richard movie, man. Man, that really kind of unfolded everything about them. And when they talk about parents pushing children or saying that you're doing this and you're doing that, you got to look at
The Jackson 5.
Yeah, you got to look at the family and where those children are, the people that you push to be something.
Exactly.
Like you said, Jackson 5.
Look at Michael.
Yeah, look at Mike. He got pushed to the extreme, almost to a point where they were saying he was getting abused.
Yeah, and on top of that,
And look where
at
he
Janet.
at. You look at Janet. Yep.
Out of all the kids, you're not gonna have all of them do the same thing.
Yeah.
But look how it ended up turning out to be.
Right. Floyd Mayweather. If you think of it,
Yeah,
his father. They was talking about how abusive he was.
Well,
chastisement,
his
beating.
father was abusive, and then he was getting beat in the ring. I'm just keeping it 100 with you.
Well, my fighter never lost. So hey, man.
And you know-
so hey, that's all I got to say.
That Olympics is always going to be
Man,
tarnished.
my fighter never lost. He ain't like Mike. Mike lost.
Okay, well,
Mike lost professionally.
But guess what? A champion, a true champion, will always accept defeat.
Okay, well, since we talking about that ring, I got free smoke. Ain't no safety on this Glock. I got free smoke, baby.
Oh man, I tell you, Book. Hey, I just tell you like this. When you turn back around and you actually get in the ring,
Yeah.
and you dance around is one thing. But getting laid on the ground is another.
Oh, hey, Mr. Kato,
they got
I want you to do a
big
close up
dogs
on it.
Big noise going with the middleweights.
It's the matchup, Kato. Mark it, put it down.
Got the middleweights going head
Yeah.
to head up in there, man.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, I'm dying for.
Make sure you eat your Wheaties and take your vitamins, like you said. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you do that.
Take your vitamins.
Yeah,
huh?
and
Take
take
my vitamins.
take your vitamins. Take your Vities.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
the weigh-in is going to be coming up pretty soon, and
Well, just don't be absent. Just
oh, no.
you like to show up late.
To be absent with the mind is to be present with the Lord.
Well, sometimes you get knocked out of your mind, and then hey. So I shall not say.
You're going to get knocked out and be in presence with the Lord.
Yeah, yeah. Your eye closed.
Wait, but in order to be a champion, you got to be the champion.
Well, ain't nobody took this belt. Ain't nobody took this title.
It's a lot of trash talking going
Yeah.
on, man.
But
Let's bring it
Bring it back to this tennis.
Bring it back though. We didn't touch on tennis. I want to touch on the WNBA.
Oh yes.
Because there's a lot of WNBA players that's top notch, and they're not getting paid for what they're worth.
right.
You got some of them playing ball and doing OnlyFans.
Yeah.
To make money.
Well,
Which I don't think is.
It's not right. It's
Nah.
just like how they did with college players. You're making all this money off these people.
Right.
So why you not paying these people?
I know who I can blame for it, but I'm gonna get hit. I'm gonna be like punished if I say it. LeBron James. I didn't mean to say it.
Well, I'm not gonna say that, but he did make more than every WNBA player
That's messed up.
alone by himself. His salary for that year, he made more than every
But I like
WNBA
this
player.
here, man. They gotta take a stand together.
Yeah.
Remember that year we had
that
that lock up with the NBA, and they said they stood and said we not gonna play.
We're not gonna play.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant led that.
Women gotta come together as a collective unit. And once you get together, you can bargain more.
Yeah.
And if we don't play, you're not getting no money because ain't nobody getting no ratings. You ain't selling no tickets,
And you ain't selling no merchandise.
no
none of that.
merchandise, no nothing.
You got to think about the endorsements, the endorsement deals, people to get yourself known. And like you said, I not only he say LeBron jokingly, but the NBA has a lot to do with that.
I'll tell you
The
something.
founders, they founded that.
I got a good trivia for you.
Go ahead.
Did you know? A lot of people compare NBA Live and 2K. Did you know NBA Live opened the door to put the WNBA players on their game?
Yeah,
Now
on the
2K
game.
does that.
Yeah, not
Wow.
too big, yeah.
Yes, because they wanted to make sure they got paid money. So
Right.
they get paid more money
Right.
in the video game series than they do in the WNBA.
Right. And I got a daughter who is inspired to be a WNBA player. So if that's something that I got to do to push, I'll be right there with it.
Well, if anything, we're going to push on the show. Because nobody
yes,
can
sir.
promote you better than your own brand.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, you going to take us home today?
I'm gonna take.
No, he's not going to take us home. Just remember that the fight is coming up pretty soon.
Well, first of all, this is my show, so I am gonna take us home. October, I'm gonna put them brakes on this boy with no brake pads. Make sure you tune in to the next show. I told you, no safety on this Glock. Booker, I'm out.